Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show where we're going to be discussing all the latest Manchester United news. In today's show, Brazilian Wonderkid is being monitored by Man United and Chelsea. Manchester United expected to make the first offer for the young centre-back. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the availability of Conor Gallagher for 26 million in January, so the fee has been agreed there. Will Manchester United pursue Conor Gallagher in January? That is the question that we will answer in today's video. We've got updates on Diego Leon going out on loan. We've got updates on, well, I don't even know what the truth is in it, but there's a rumour that Aston Villa are going to let Ollie Watkins go in January for 35 million pounds. So that could be one to watch if true, but we're still waiting for probably a bit more confirmation in that rumour, among other stories. So I hope you do enjoy today's video, or live stream actually. If you do, feel free to hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Let me know how you are doing below. And yeah, before we get into the news, big win yesterday. 3 points at Selhurst Park. I'm not going to complain one bit. Do I have concerns? Yes. Do I think the football we're playing is sustainable? Not particularly, but am I happy that we're 7th place putting pressure on the top four? Yes. As long as we are around that 7th place putting pressure on the European spots, the Europa League, the Champions League spots, I'm happy with our league position. If we slip down to 13th, 14th while playing bad football, I won't be happy with our league position. The first half was crap. The second half was good. Second half was good because of many things, but I do think Crystal Palace playing midweek gave us the advantage. And I think with 9 Premier League clubs in Europe this season having extra games, we saw how it impacted Palace in the second half. We need to take advantage of that and hopefully record a strong finish this season. But some of the football that I'm watching is not great, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the win. I'm happy with where we're at. I wouldn't say happy where we're at, but I'm happy that we are 3 points off that Champions League spot, but it's just frustrating because I look at the Premier League and I look at how many of the good clubs are dropping points this season. And I think, if we'd have got those 3 points versus Forest, if we'd have got those 3 points versus Everton, imagine this. Imagine if we actually had, not had so many silly results. If you look at the Everton game, if we beat Everton, we would currently be on 24 points, which would have us in 5th, equal with Chelsea in 3rd and Villa in 4th. If we'd have beat Everton, we'd have been on 24 points and we'd have been equal with 3rd and 4th. And it's so frustrating because I think this season there's a real opportunity for us to get that 5th spot, which could be Champions League. I think we have to get Europa League, and if we don't get Europa League, Amro should be sacked. But I think there's a real opportunity for us to push that 5th spot. I really do, because Villa have got 2 games a week, Chelsea got 2 games a week, Arsenal, City have got 2 games a week. Arsenal, City, Chelsea will be guaranteed top 3. Villa look like they're going to get 4th, but they're scoring goals from outside the box. You could argue that's unsustainable. Liverpool are going to be in and around there. I think Brighton and Sunderland will naturally drop off. Palace are dropping off. Bournemouth are on a bad run of form. Tottenham sliding down. I think Newcastle will push up. But there's a really good opportunity for Manchester United to get 5th in the Premier League this season. I generally think that we can do that. I think we can sneak a 5th. 5th should probably get us Champions League football. But I think that, Amorim needs to be a bit more adaptable with his approach and play to the players' strengths, because I think that we are good enough to sneak 5th. And it's just so frustrating because I think, imagine we'd have won that Everton game, 24 points where we'd be, 24 points. Or we didn't drop those silly points to Forest from a winning position. We could be on 26 points and we could be on 2nd. If we'd have beat Forest and beat Everton, we'd be in 2nd. It's such slim margins and it's so frustrating. And I sometimes just wish we went for it a bit more. But yeah, it was a big performance versus Palace. I mean, the first half versus Palace was atrocious. The first half versus Palace was sackable from the manager and the players, but the second half was very good. But I think a big part of it was because Palace were tight. But I will give Amorim credit. In the first half, Amorim was using Xerxes as a target man. I thought, why are you playing Xerxes as a target man? That's not Xerxes' game. In the second half, he let Xerxes drop deep into the left pockets, and Xerxes did a much better game. Alice, I've been saying 5th, but you kept saying 8th. It's a 3-hit season as the fixtures chaotic. I said we have to finish in the top 8 or it's sackable, but I do think we should be getting at least Europa League. I think we could push for 5th. I was just saying if we don't get top 8, he has to be sacked. That's what I was saying. Because look, the standards are fallen. We're talking about Man United finishing 5th and celebrating it like it's an achievement. We finished 5th 3 seasons ago. It would have been a disgrace. So the standards have fallen. And I think the one thing I've noticed about Amorim is because he finished 15th, if Amorim finishes 6th, it's good. Whereas in Ten Hag finishes 6th, it's a disgrace. If Oli finishes 6th, it's a disgrace. Whereas if Amorim finishes 6th, it's good. We've created these all-time new low standards with Amorim, but I'm also like aware of where the squad's at. But I think we need the standards up. I look at the Premier League, I look at the teams dropping points, I look at the fact we have 1 game a week, I look at the money we spent, I look at the squad we have, and I think we should really go for that 5th spot. Because, people are saying they'd be happy with 9th, 10th. No, standards. We should be going for the 5th spot. We should at least be getting Europa League football, but we should be pushing for Champions League. Because Liverpool have fallen off, Tottenham have fallen off. Villa, they're doing really well, but they're scoring goals outside the box. Is it sustainable? Newcastle had a slow start, but Newcastle will probably be back up there. But then they have lack of squad depth and Champions League football. Why top 8 is a low standards if he doesn't get Champions League should be sacked. I think if he gets Europa League, he should keep his job. Like, I'm not Amorim's biggest fan, but I think the goal was just to get back in Europa League at least this season. I think Champions League we should push for. But I think because we finished 15th, there is lower standards for Amorim than any other manager. A lot of other managers would get sacked for not getting Champions League football, but because of where we've been, there's probably lower standards for Amorim. But I think for me, I'd take Europa League football. I wouldn't, I think if he doesn't get Europa League football, it's sackable. But I don't think anyone thought after finishing 15th we get Champions League football the next year. So to sack Amorim because he doesn't get Champions League football, I think if we got Europa League football, but the football we played was absolutely atrocious and awful, then maybe there could be questions over it. But I think if he gets Europa League, I think he's safe. I think we're a top 4 side with Semenyo, Anderson and Wharton. I agree. I actually agree with that, yeah. Where are the Xerxes haters now? I mean, that second half from Xerxes was brilliant. I like Xerxes, and I've always said this. Xerxes was completely profiled wrong by Amorim in the first half. You can't play Xerxes as a target man. He's not a target man. He's not someone you lob the ball up to and as a target man. That's when you need Sesko. And what was really annoying me is the 2 games where we have Xerxes in the box, particularly the Everton game, we're putting all these crosses in. The one game we don't have Sesko, long ball crosses, playing to Sesko's strength with Xerxes. But in the second half versus Crystal Palace, Ruben Amorim adapted, let Xerxes drop deep, let Xerxes go into the pockets, and it was much better. But look, I'm 7 minutes in. I haven't got into the transfer news. I want to get into that. I want to talk about this Brazilian Wonderkid. I want to talk about Conor Gallagher because that's what people have clicked on the video for. Wonderkid and Chelsea. We would not be going for a young star if we didn't have Chelsea as competition. Chelsea won every single young gem in world football. But it has been said that Manchester United and Chelsea have both begun negotiations to sign 17-year-old Grêmio centre-back Luis Eduardo. Both clubs are expected to make offers in the coming weeks. So there's a few reports coming out. So it's not just the reports coming out from Dio Rosea. There's also now reports coming out from English-based sources. The Mail has got on this, and there's talk that United are preparing to make the first offer for the young centre-back. So Chelsea and United are both making advances to sign Luis Eduardo. The 17-year-old has represented Grêmio's under-20 side since the start of the year, and he also made his senior debut in February. That has been his only appearance for the first team. Eduardo represented Brazil at the Under-17s World Cup in Qatar last month. They lost the semi-final and third-place playoff to Portugal and Italy, respectively, on penalties, but he was very impressive. The youngster's known for his pace and reached a good 38 kilometers per hour speed for Grêmio Under-20s earlier this year, but he's another player like Orozco that suppressed Man United in the Under-17s World Cup. Man United have been watching the Under-17s World Cup. Christopher Vivell has been watching the Under-17s World Cup, and he is looking at this young centre-back as potentially the future. Apparently, he's very, very quick. Apparently, he's very mobile, and apparently, he's good at reading the game. It's believed that Manchester United are going to make the first offer for the star, but the Mail Sport does say he has a release clause of £50 million. Now, we're not going to make a £50 million bid for someone that's not played professional football. That would be ridiculous. That's what his current release clause is, but there is a feeling that United could probably get him in the 16, 17 million range, and he's one of the highest rated young kids in football. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've watched the other Under-17 World Cups or the Under-20 to go and play in the Brazilian league, but I've found a bit of information on him, which I've translated because a couple of Brazilian people have been talking about him. So this is obviously via X translation. Now, serious talk. The best in the game, this puppet here, they're talking about Luis Eduardo, by the way, proved that he stands out in the category. Intelligent in coverage, in anticipations, and in duels. Luis Eduardo, who already had a great performance against that team, repeats another huge performance against Palmeiras. This is obviously being translated from people that watch him. Everyone is like, wow, Luis Eduardo is having some great performances. If Victor Reis, the skinny kid, was sold for over 35 million, the selling ceiling for Luis Eduardo has to be higher. That's why they think they can get 50 million. We have to think big with this huge prospect we have in the club. It's about giving him playing time and he'll continue increasing his value more. So this is what people over in Brazil are saying about him. Very highly rated. We look at Victor Reis, who obviously gone to Manchester City for like, what, £35 million? He's on loan in La Liga at Girona, obviously playing a few games, 19-year-old centre-back. Apparently this guy's even better, according to their fans. Now, Palmeiras fans, I spoke to a Palmeiras fan, and that Palmeiras fan said to me that Esteval was better than Endrick. Not this summer, but last summer, Endrick scored for Brazil. He was about to get moved to Real Madrid, and Endrick was getting a ridiculous amount of hype last summer. I spoke to a Palmeiras fan, and they said that Esteval is ahead of Endrick. And look at Esteval now, look at Endrick now. So fans of this club in Brazil are saying that this young centre-back that United are looking to make an offer for is better than Victor Reis. And the Brazilian fans will know, because they knew Esteval was better than Endrick, but Endrick had way more hype a year ago. Way more hype a year ago. So this could be one to watch, because Man United are looking at him, but so are Chelsea. Manchester United want to be first to make an offer. Man United ready to make an offer for the Brazilian Wonderkid. And maybe we are. The problem is, I don't think it's going to be like a Rosico or Diego Leon, where it's going to be 1, 2, 3 million quid. I think this could be a 16, 17, 18 million pound deal. And it'll be interesting to know if United are really willing to spend more than a couple of million on a wonder kid. Now, we know with Christopher Vival, this is his kind of thing. He looks at the under-17s football in Africa. In South America, we're looking at Diego Leon, Orozco, Saku Kone. We know that we're obviously looking at a few young African talents. We're looking at a few young South American talents. And Man United keep wanting to find the next Moises Caicedo, the next Virgil van Dijk, the next Erling Haaland. Man United keep going about and they're trying to find the next young gems to push the academy players and eventually push the first team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But it's good to see that United are looking at some young players. Do you think Maino will go out on loan? Well, if Conor Gallagher comes in, should we talk about that? Because a fee has been agreed for Conor Gallagher. So let's talk about this. Gallagher would cost around £26 million for Man United to sign in January. He is seen as an opportunity rather than a priority signing. So Conor Gallagher will cost £26 million for Manchester United to sign in January. He is seen as an opportunity rather than a priority signing. Romano has confirmed the fee and the price for, obviously, Gallagher. Romano has confirmed Conor Gallagher is available for 26 million. He's agreed. The fee is agreed. The price is confirmed. Will United go for him? Now, we know that United want Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson is Manchester United's number one midfield priority. Manchester United are going to go all out for Elliot Anderson, but they cannot get Elliot Anderson till the summer. So they may get a midfielder in January if they think a good midfielder is available for a good price as an opportunity. They will get Anderson in the summer. They will get an opportunity in January, whether that's João Gomez, at 40 million, whether that's Conor Gallagher at 26 million. I prefer João Gomez. Now, 26 million for Gallagher is decent, but I'd rather do a loan deal. Gallagher's someone I would rather bring on loan to help the squad depth. I think if we bring Gallagher in, I think Kobbie goes out on loan. I think if we bring Conor Gallagher in, I think Kobbie Mainoo will go out on loan and probably go to Napoli, who have had major midfield injury issues. 26 million for Gallagher isn't an awful price, but I think he's just a bit of an... I don't want Gallagher, if I'm going to be honest. I want him on loan as a depth option to the end of the season, but I don't want to spend actual money on Gallagher because I don't rate him that much as a player. If it's on loan, I'm happy with it. If it's a permanent, I don't really want it. Same basically. Gallagher could be an improvement on Agate, yes, but it's not hard. Some people think we should sign him. Look, 26 million isn't a bad fee. It's not a bad fee at all when you look at the market. But I'd rather just not spend that 26 million on Gallagher. I'd just rather not. I'd rather spend 40 million on João Gomez because I think João Gomez is a better player. There's a reason Atleti want to sell Gallagher because he's been struggling. We saw Gallagher play for England. He got moved out for Mano 2 years ago, and Mano was levels ahead of Gallagher for England. Now, Gallagher probably suits what Ruben Amorim wants more midfield, and you can say it like that. But for me, I'm not the biggest fan unless it's a loan. I think Gallagher coming in would probably mean that Mano would go out on loan. We have been linked to Ollie Watkins as well, and I will talk about that in a second. Apparently, Villa are not happy with Ollie Watkins and are willing to sell him for 35 million, and Man United could be interested. But it's not really been said by anyone credible. It's just a rumour. There's no credible sources on Watkins' exit. What Romano did say on Conor Gallagher is it could take around 26 million to sign Conor Gallagher in January. There's a chance for him to leave Atletico. United were interested in him in the final days of the window, but because United couldn't do a loan move for Gallagher, Madrid said no. Sources say this could be the way a permanent deal, maybe around 26 million, happens. So Romano saying, again, they don't want to do a loan. We know Man United want a loan, but they're now lowering the 40 million asking price for Gallagher in the summer to 26 million in January to see if maybe someone like United does a permanent deal. Although Romano did continue to say United are prioritising the likes of Anderson and Baleba. They're difficult to do in January. The club may act in January if they think there's a good opportunity there. If they think Gallagher for 26 million is a good opportunity, we may act in January. But we are focused on Baleba and Anderson. There is also talk that Edison, the Brazilian at Atalanta, could also be available for 25 to 30 million in January. So you've got Conor Gallagher and Edison, two midfielders potentially available for 25 to 30 million in January. There is talk of that as well. So there could be one to watch, but I think João Gomez is probably the one that United will want the most. Just have a look at the chat. I like Angelo Stiller. For me, he's more of a Bruno replacement than a Casemiro replacement because I look at him as someone that has the quality on the ball. I think Angelo Stiller is excellent on the ball. I'm very open to Angelo Stiller coming in, but physically I have concerns. I think technically he's got everything we need, and I think technically we are lacking in midfield. But in Amorim's system, you need to be physically insane. You need the technicality of Angelo Stiller is unreal, but you need the physicality of Declan Rice, the physicality of Tonali, or the physicality of Caicedo for Amorim's system, and I don't know if he has that. Alice, am I the only one that wants to see United fight for 90 minutes even if we get beat? I'm sick of being a team of two halves. I agree. I want to see a consistent 90. I look at a lot of games this season and I think good first half, crap second half, and recently, crap first half, good second half. I look at the game, versus Forest. It was an alright first half, atrocious second half. Game versus Fulham, alright first half, atrocious second half. The game versus Burnley, phenomenal first half, bad second half, almost bottled it. The game versus Brighton, phenomenal first half, bad second half, almost bottled it. The game versus Sunderland, phenomenal first half, took off the gas in the second half, but that was probably our best performance over the 90. Everton was awful all round. Palace was awful first half, good second half. I'm fed up of only seeing maybe 30 minutes at the beginning of games where we're good, or occasionally we show up right at the end of the game when we got nothing to lose. But I want to see more consistent. I think the only performance this season I've actually been convinced with is Sunderland. And I don't want to be negative. Burnley was unreal in that first half. The best football we played all season was the first half versus Burnley. We could have been 4-0 up, but we weren't. We were crap in the second half. Brighton, we almost let it go in the second half. I look at Sunderland as the most complete performance. I know we beat Chelsea, but they had 10 men. I know Arsenal struggled versus 10 men Chelsea. But I think our most complete performance... I liked the Brighton game, don't get me wrong. But I think our most complete performance of the season was Sunderland. Our most convincing performance under Ruben Amorim was over a year ago when we beat Everton 4-0. That was our most convincing performance under Ruben Amorim, when we had Rashford and Xerxes and Ahmad front three, and it worked really well. But that's not going to happen again. Oh no, it was Bruno in the right 10, Ahmad right wing back, Rashford left 10, Xerxes up top. I quite liked that, but he fell out with Rashford, who scored 3 goals and 2 starts for Amorim in the Premier League, which is actually quite nuts. But I agree with you. Ollie Watkins, why not sign a decent striker? Ollie Watkins is having a bad season, but we all said in the summer he was a decent striker. He was Prem-proven, he's experienced. The problem is Ollie Watkins has got 1 goal in 13 games. I like Ollie Watkins. He could be available for 35 million in January, but he's 29. He's got 1 goal in 13 games, and Villa wants to sell him. Villa have told him he can look for a new club. And I'm just a bit like, I wanted Ollie Watkins in the summer. like I wanted Belabor in the summer, but both of them have been crap this season. Absolutely crap this season. So I am a bit like less wanting them. Ollie Watkins hasn't started the last game for Villa, came off the bench versus Wolves. He's been pretty poor. His only goal came in a win versus Fulham. Glad I didn't go with him on FPL this season. Again, I think as much as I wanted Watkins in the summer, Watkins, is a bit of a red flag now. Cisco's got more goals than Watkins this season. Do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad about Ollie Watkins is he's got 1 goal this season. It's not been spoken about. I'd say Cisco's on 2 goals and he's getting more stick than Watkins on 1 goal, and Watkins is a more experienced player. Get Keith Smith. We have been linked to Keith Smith, obviously is he at PSV? No, he's at Feyenoord. We've been linked to him. Apparently, I heard a rumour that Newcastle are favourites to land him, though. I don't know how true that is, but apparently Newcastle are favourites to land him. Edison should be decent, actually. His stats and heat map isn't bad. For the right price, it's perfect depth, but don't think Atlanta would sell. I think Edison is a slightly improved version of Agate, and you can probably say the same about Gallagher. I don't think they're what we want, but I think there's slight upgrades on Agate, and for depth, you might consider it. But I'd rather just get better players than get them for 25 million for the sake of getting them for 25 million. I think João Gomez is better than the two. Everyone is like Anderson. Well, we have to go for Anderson. We all know that. Our formation allows 2 central midfielders and Bruno is one of them. Where do Anderson, Belabor, Gallagher play when there's like 4 other players for one position left in midfield? Well, Agate would go, and Gallagher or Edison or João Gomez would replace Agate. Casemiro will go, and Anderson will replace Casemiro, and I think Bruno will go. I think we'll have 4 midfielders next season, and I think 3 of them could be new. And there's even rumours Maino could go. There's rumours Bruno could go. Bruno has a 55 million release clause active in the summer, so Bruno may go. Guys, we can buy generational talents, and we can't make one of them better. It's heartbreaking for a club that has always been known to develop kids into stars. I do think we can buy all these great young stars, but we need to create the environment for them to come into and thrive. We're not doing that right now. Alice, what do you think a Shaw left wing back and Leach left centre back would work? Yeah, I'd like to see it. I don't know how well it would work, but I'd like to see Luke Shaw get a 20-minute cameo left wing back. I really would. I have to say, I've given Delo a lot of stick this season, but I thought Delo was one of our better performers yesterday. I thought he had a good game. What about the Thiago fellow at Brentford? He's doing well. He is, but he's had a ridiculous amount of penalties as well. You've got to remember that. Brentford have won more penalties than anyone this season. It's nuts. I think they've got 7 penalty goals this season or something. Yeah, Delo had his best game. Like, I've not been happy with Delo, but I think that was Delo's best game of the season yesterday, actually. I think he was really good. He got robbed of a free kick. The ref yesterday was atrocious. Like, I think, we've had a couple games where the ref has been fine. I've not really noticed any issues with the ref, but the ref was absolutely atrocious yesterday. Some of the decisions given against us, the Mbumo yellow card, like, yes, Mbumo shouldn't have done that, but it wasn't a foul to begin with. Yeah, some of the decisions from the referees yesterday, I was not happy with. Although the one thing I was happy with is Casemiro could have really easily picked up a yellow card right at the end there, and when we gave away that free kick, and that would have meant that Casemiro would be suspended for our next game, which is against West Ham, which isn't the worst game for him to miss, but when we think we're going to win, we don't win. I guess it's good that Casemiro isn't suspended versus West Ham, but Casemiro could have very easily got a yellow. Casemiro's a yellow card away from a suspension, and we know what happens when Casemiro's out because we play like crap. I want to get into some final stories before I wrap up the live show, by the way, guys. Solly Talks has come out and said that Diego Leon is expected to go on loan to Nice in January. He's expected to be involved in the Nice first team and go on loan in January, so that could be one to watch. There's also rumours of Sekou Kona going on loan. JJ Gabriel was not eligible to play in the Premier League this season, but he is eligible to play for United in the FA Cup this season. And Romano did say about Cristiano Rosico that he's a young talent that's going to United and he could hopefully be the next Caicedo. This is a deal for the future. This is an exciting deal for Manchester United. The club believes they found a hidden gem as well. So a few interesting updates coming in there. But listen, people, I've got a few chats here. Why are we not giving minutes to Shea Lacey? Will be wrecked when the players go to AFCON. I think they're waiting for the right time. I think if we're 4-0 up in a game, Shea Lacey gets 20 minutes. We've seen Amarin do it in the past. Who did we go 3-0 up against last season and Amarin threw on the youth? I think it was the Europa League game. He threw a few youth players on, gave out a few debuts. I think if we were 3-0 up, he would do it. I think because games are tight margins, he hasn't. But I think when Mbumo goes to AFCON, we'll definitely see him get on. I think surely. Casemiro's been bossing the midfield. A few bad refs have been in a few last games. Yeah, the refereeing in the league's atrocious. Shaw has no legs, that's why he's a centre back. That's my fear. He couldn't do it at left wing back anymore, but I'd like to see him give him 15 minutes to just see. Anyway, big up everyone for watching today's show. I'm just going to see if anyone's live to redirect to. Is there anyone we can give a little cheeky raid to? Don't think anyone is live right now. No one is live right now. But big up everybody for tuning into today's show. Thank you for watching. Bye.